Dear souls present here, if you are listening to these words, know that you are not here by accident. Only a very small portion of humanity, I call it the 1% who see, has been chosen by the universe to hear and receive this message at this very moment. It is not because you are special. It is because there is a time, a maturity in your heart and in the flow of your soul, where you are ready to receive what you have lost. You often ask, why do we lose the most precious things in life? Why does love go away, faith disappear, strength and joy no longer remain? And is there an invisible hand that is robbing or punishing us? I tell you, nothing is truly lost in the universe. Everything is recorded, preserved in eternal light. Only the human mind, shrouded in the mist of illusion, believes that it is lost. Do you remember when you were a child, you used to look at the sky with innocent eyes? At that time, faith, innocence, pure love filled you. But over the years, society, fear, hurt, covered that soul with dust. You thought you lost the light. But the light is never lost, it is only obscured. Let me tell you a truth. The universe always gives you back what belongs to you. It is the law of love, the law of ultimate justice. A law that no power on earth can break. I tell you, what belongs to your soul, no one can take it away. Think of a seed. When it is planted in the ground, can you say that it is lost? No. It is just hiding to emerge as a green shoot, a big tree, a flower. The universe works the same way. What you thought was lost is actually transforming to return purer, brighter, and fuller than before. I tell you, chosen soul, if you hear this message today, the door is open. This is the moment when the universe begins to give back to you. But what is returned is not just material things, money, opportunities, relationships, but more deeply, a connection with the light, with God, with your eternal nature. Ask yourself, what have you really lost? Have you lost joy? Have you lost the holiness in your eyes? Have you lost faith in yourself, in people, in God? Have you lost your freedom by letting fear and desire control you? My child, the answer to all that you have lost is here. You have forgotten your divine nature. And now the universe speaks to you through me. You will be given back. You will be given back not to be held as a possession, but to be lived in wholeness. You will be given back not to prove yourself better than anyone else, but to know that there is no division, all belong to one. Feel. At this moment, when your heart beats, when your breath comes in and goes out, you are given back life. No one in you created the breath. It is given back every second. And every second, you are reminded that you have never lost it. Soul, do not ask when you will receive it back. Don't rush to ask when or where. Because the answer is always, right now. Loss exists only in the memory of the past. But the return of the universe exists in the eternal present. If you can let go of the idea of I have lost, you will immediately find yourself full. And that fullness will attract all the things you thought were gone from your life. I, Babaji, do not come to give you anything from the outside. I only awaken what you already have, what you already are. I come to lift the veil, so that you can see the sun still shining, even though you have closed your eyes for too long. My child, listen deeply. The 1% who see this message are not lucky, but because of the choice your soul made before you were born. You promised the universe that you would not be lost forever. And today, that promise resonates. The universe reminds me. Stand up, remember, receive. If you continue in the light, in trust, then what you thought was lost will return in the most miraculous way. The universal law of loss and return. Dear child of God, in the realm of the universe, there is no coincidence. What you call loss and return are two sides of the same law, the law of balance and return. I want you to understand deeply. Not a single drop of water disappears when it falls into the ocean. You can imagine the universe as an infinite mirror. Every thought, every emotion, every action, every prayer, all are imprinted on that mirror. And then, according to the law of reflection, it will return to you. That is why you sow love and receive love, and you sow hatred and receive suffering. But there are things that you seem to have lost unintentionally. A loved one left, a dream shattered, a belief collapsed. You cry and think the universe is unfair. But my child, remember, the universe does not take anything without giving back something more completely. Observe the cycles of nature. The falling of a leaf is not a loss, it returns the nourishment to the soil. The cracking of a seed is not a loss, it is an opening for new life. In the same way, when you lose something precious, believe that the universe is preparing a new form to give back to you. A love may be broken, but from that broken piece, you learn resilience and the ability to love more deeply. An opportunity may pass, but it opens the way to a greater journey. Even pain is not lost, it becomes wisdom if you know how to see with enlightened eyes. My child, remember, loss is not the end. Loss is transformation. There are people in this life who seem to have lost everything. But if they still keep their faith, keep their souls bright, the universe will give them back something that the world cannot give. That is liberation, unconditional peace, freedom that no power can bind. You may wonder, why must we lose, then receive back? Why didn't the universe let us keep it forever from the beginning? The answer lies in the very nature of the soul. Only when we experience loss do we learn to appreciate. Only when we fall into darkness do we realize the value of light. Only when our arms are empty do we know how to receive with all our hearts. The universe is not a punisher. The universe is a great teacher. And loss is the most profound lesson that every soul must go through. Let me tell you a secret. When you lose something that you think is everything, the universe is actually leading you closer to the all. You lose to be opened. You lose to learn to let go. You lose to receive the very divine nature that you have forgotten. These are not just words of comfort. They are the law. And the law never fails. Chosen soul, when you hear these words, I want you to believe with certainty. The universe will give you back what you have lost. But to receive, you must open your heart, you must let go of resentment, you must trust in God's love. If you close, you will not see the gift that is coming. I say it clearly so you will not be confused. Returning is not always a return. Returning is a restoration on a higher level. Returning is healing and opening up the soul's potential. And I promise the universe, if you truly open your heart, what you need will come, what you deserve will be given, and you will receive more than you ever had. The path of consciousness: why do people lose and how to get it back? Dear souls who are listening, you often ask, why do we lose? Why do things that belong to the soul leave us? Why is the love, peace, faith, purity that were available when we were children no longer there? To answer, I want you to understand that loss does not come from God. Loss comes from the human mind. 1. Forgetfulness of the soul. Since you were born, your soul has always carried the light of God. But when you entered the world, you carried the veil of forgetfulness. That is the rule of the incarnation. The newborn baby knows how to love unconditionally. It smiles when it sees gentle eyes. It cries when it needs protection. It does not distinguish between high and low, rich and poor, white and black. But as it grows up, it learns to compare, learns to fear, learns to hide. And step by step, it forgets who it is. This forgetting is the source of loss. You do not really lose, you just forget that you already have. 2. The trap of the ego. The human mind is covered by a shadow. We call it the ego. The ego makes you believe that you have to prove your worth, to possess a lot, to surpass others. And when the ego takes control, you start looking outside instead of looking inside. You believe that love must come from another person, joy must come from success, peace must come from money or power. But when those things disappear, you suffer and think you have lost everything. Actually, you have never lost, you just misplaced your value. You forgot the endless source of love inside, and then ran to find it in the eyes of others. You forgot the peace that is already in your soul, and then traded it for a little bit of security outside. The ego is like a thief. It makes you believe that it is the master of your life. But once you realize this deception, the ego no longer has power. 3. Fear and desire. Another reason why you lose is because you let fear and desire lead you. Fear makes you cling. The more you cling, the more you lose. Desire makes you run. The more you chase, the more you miss. When you fear losing, that energy creates loss. When you crave blindly, that energy takes you away from the present, the only place where you can feel complete. 4. How to get it back. My child, I have not come to point out the reason why you lost it, but to show you the way to get it back. And I tell you, you can get it all back, right in this moment. What you need is not to run and look for it, but to turn inside. Do you think you have lost faith? Come back to your breath, listen to your heart, you will see that faith has never left. Do you think you have lost love? Close your eyes, send energy from your heart to all things, and you will see that love flows endlessly. Do you think you have lost peace? Sit still, let go of all thoughts, and you will see that peace is still there, like a calm lake. You do not need to fight, do not need to demand. You just need to remember. And when you remember, all that you thought you lost will return, because it has never left. 5. The path of awakening. Let me give you some practical steps. Let go of the idea of loss. Whenever your mind whispers, I have lost, replace it with, I am on a journey to receive. Return to the present. The present is the only place the universe gives back to you. The past is just a memory, the future is just an illusion. But the present is the gateway to recovery. Practice gratitude. When you are grateful for what you have, you create a frequency of wholeness, and the universe resonates, giving you more. Unify with the light. Every day, spend time connecting with God through meditation, prayer, or deep silence. When you connect with the Source, you will see that you have never lost anything. The secret of receiving. People often think that receiving means possessing. But the secret is, receiving means uniting. When you are united with the source of love, all relationships become complete. When you are united with the source of peace, no event can shake you. When you are united with the source of power, you do not need to prove anything because your presence shines through. Dear soul, you lose because you forget. You regain by remembering. Remember that you are a child of God, complete, immortal. And I say to you, when you walk this path, the universe will not only give you back what you have lost, but will also give you things you never dared to dream of. The role of God and His presence in you. Chosen souls. I tell you, behind every law, behind every return, there is a beating heart. That heart is God. God is not far away, He is in every breath. People often think of God as being up high, in a distant place. But my child, God is never far away from you. He is in every breath you take, in every heartbeat that you have no control over. If you look up at the sky and see the light of the sun, that is God's light. If you look into the eyes of a child, that is God's purity. If you listen to the very life within you, that is God's whisper. Loss occurs when you forget the presence. What you call loss is really just forgetting God within yourself. You lose faith when you forget that God is faith. You lose love when you forget that God is love. You lose peace when you forget that God is peace. But I remind you, God has never left. He is still there, silently, patiently, waiting for you to open your heart to receive. The eternal connection. My child, you and God are not two separate entities. You are not a beggar standing at the door of God's house asking for alms. You are a child in that very house. You and God are connected by an eternal bond, nothing can break it. And just a moment of awakening, a sincere prayer, a tear returning, you will feel that bond vibrate again. God in human form. Many people ask, if God is in me, why don't I always feel Him? My child, the answer is, He hides Himself so that you have the opportunity to seek, and through seeking, you can grow. God does not want you to be a passive puppet. He wants you to be a free spirit, able to choose to love, to choose to trust, to choose to be enlightened. And it is through that freedom that you find Him in your own human form. Sometimes you will see God in the smile of a stranger. Sometimes you will see God in the forgiveness of someone you have hurt. Sometimes you will see God in the moment you forgive yourself. God's role in returning. My child, understand, the universe is only a means, and God is the giver. The universe is a mirror. God is the light that enables the mirror to reflect. Without God, the universe is just a meaningless void. But with God, every loss becomes a lesson, every suffering becomes enlightenment, and every loss becomes an opportunity to receive. How to live in God's presence. You don't need to search far. God is nowhere but in your heart. Every time you breathe in awareness, you meet God. Every time you speak words of love, you meet God. Every time you forgive, you meet God. Every time you choose light over darkness, you meet God. Live as if God is walking with you every step of the way, and the truth is, He is always there.